The Eagles are about to enter the heat, physically and mentally, of Tampa Bay, a place they've struggled to play football for several years now. And they've got more questions than answers, despite being 3-0. The Phillies are limping to the finish line. Red October. Are we ready for it to get here? There's always so much more also. Trending in the AM, taking all your thoughts and opinions on the Eagles, the Phillies, and anything else happening in sports. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter. Please do me that favor. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page. Starting the show at 670 subscribers. So please, guys, let's continue to share this out. Like we're having a huge boom the last couple of weeks. Would continue to see this number go up. It would be great. If you're watching on Twitter, you head over to the YouTube page, because it's also the only place you can vote on the daily poll question of the show. Today's poll question: what is your biggest concern for the Eagles this week against the Buccaneers? Kelee Ringo starting. We'll get into that in a minute. Lane Johnson's injury, Kevin Patullo's play calling, and the Eagles' run defense. They're your four options. Right now, Lane Johnson's injury has no votes on it early on. We'll see how that goes. But, guys, like, share, subscribe. Vote on the YouTube poll question. And if you're watching this on replay later today, drop your comments on everything you hear here, because I do check all replay gang comments. Captain Eric of the replay gang will vouch. I will respond to all your thoughts, guys. We've got lots to get into today, Eagles and Phillies related. I'm Phil Stiefel. We're going to dive right into some of these comments right off the bat. Actually, we're at 670 now, Adam. We've continued to go up. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? Duck, right away answering one of the questions here of the day. Ringo is about the same as Adoree Jackson from what we saw in the preseason. Patullo is now in the unenviable position to prove that he was calling those second-half plays. He does have to prove that, which is going to be a tough question, or tough thing to prove. Phillies really need to rest cycles for their key players who needed it. You and I know that getting through MLB playoffs is tough. I am concerned a little bit about the fact that this team is going cold, including the bullpen, at the worst opportune time. You don't want to go cold and then have a week off till your first playoff game. That's going to be tough. The magic number to get that first round bye is 1. Either a win for them or a Dodgers loss will get them that first round bye. I'm sure with that bye they'll have a scrimmage or something like that. But man, bats are kind of in. We're still waiting on Trey Turner to come back. The bullpen is shaky right now. It's crazy. Phil, the boom is built on your foundation of grind. I appreciate it. We're having a really good 2-3 weeks here at the channel trying to get this thing going. So I love to see the continued support from the core group here. But we're finding new supporters of the channel every day. And I can't do it without your guys' support. So I greatly appreciate it. Did anyone see the security guard breaking his neck looking at Smitty's fiance? I did see. That almost looked too staged. It was so funny, it looked staged. I did see that. We didn't talk about that security situation, and we didn't talk about the security situation where Big Dom got fined something like $75,000 for having his cell phone on the sideline of a preseason football game. Different security situations, but two very interesting ones. We almost have to start Ringo. We have to see how he responds to real game action. If he bottoms out, then we are in trouble. So this is two different things here, Peanut. We do so the Kelee Ringo conversation, for those that don't know, is coming out because Adoree Jackson and Jacorian Bennett were hurt in the last game. Both most likely will not play. The Eagles are adding Eli Ricks back to the practice squad. Another sign that he's not. Those two aren't going to be available. So what you do at cornerback 2? Do you start Kelee Ringo? You can start the rookie Mac McWilliams. You can go get somebody off the street, whatever. And Ringo is the guy. Now Vic Fangio spoke yesterday about how he spoke to Kelee Ringo several weeks ago to be ready because you are going to get your opportunity to play at some point this year. He complimented Kelee Ringo for handling losing the starting job well. He complimented Kelee Ringo for focusing and playing well on special teams. He said he's ready to go. Now, I said plenty of times in training camp that I'd be shocked if Kelee Ringo wasn't the starter week one. They went with Adoree Jackson. It hasn't gone well. It's gotten better, but it hasn't gone well. Kelee Ringo, at the very least, like Duck said, is at the same level as Adoree Jackson. I think with his youthfulness in this secondary, on this defense, going up a weak Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver group because Mike Evans won't be there, it's a great opportunity for Kelee Ringo to start. Is it my biggest concern? No. Is it something that I'm extremely intrigued about? Absolutely. Seeing how he performs, it kind of sucks as a young player. You work hard to get that opportunity to start. You don't win the job. You can either tuck your tail and go home, or you can buckle down and get back to work. He buckled down, got to work, and now he's getting his opportunity this week. It's going to be up to him to capitalize on that opportunity. Good morning, Lil G. Hope you're well. JT's got a bruised hand. Great. Harper's sick, of course. The Phillies are like, I'm not getting negative. I'm not worried, but I'm worried that the lack of momentum and then a week off, I think it's about a week. I don't know when the NLDS would start, but about a week is not a good recipe for that first series. What the hell? He needs to have his mobile with him. Well, supposedly he sent a text message from the sideline or made a social media post. He did something on his phone during a preseason. It's a preseason game. It's a game of fun. Nobody cares about it. If you have a no cell phone rule on the sideline during regular season games, that's fine. But if anything, the team should be allowed and encouraged to use their cell phones in preseason games. Have somebody live streaming their Instagram from the sideline. Have somebody grab the Eagles' Instagram and live stream from the sideline, interviewing players. Like there's a disconnect. Like you've got these rules, and I understand rules are rules. But Big Dom using his phone during a preseason game, don't really think that's affecting anything where you need to fine the guy $75,000. It's kind of like an insane thing when you think about it. I love how serious this team is taking this Tampa Bay Bucks. They have been a thorn on our side for far too long. Absolutely. And just because we're taking it serious doesn't mean we're going to win. It's still going to be a very difficult game for the Eagles. It's a difficult matchup. My biggest concern, the run defense going up against Bucky Irvin and company, a very good run offense of the Bucks, a team that I had it written down. Which page do I have it written down? They're averaging almost 131 yards per game on the ground. We have struggled to stop the run. It is a concern for me. The heat's a concern for me. But this Eagles team, just like the Bucks team, is fully focused on this game, and I love to see it. And I love them trying to mix it up a little bit and go down a day early to kind of get adjusted to the heat. Let's WIP this show up. CJGJ has been released. Should we bring him back? Well, it's not just a WIP this show up. It is a topic I want to discuss. So first and foremost, there's mixed reports on what the rules are. We cannot just simply sign CJGJ, just so everybody knows. He was waived or cut. Because we traded him, he had to play 4 games with the Texans before we could bring him back. Now, if the Texans put him on the waiver wire and he completely clears waivers, then we could pick him up. But why do we want him back? Do we want him back? What would we do with him even if we got him back? He's been released from Houston because he's causing problems in the locker room. Do we need that? On the flip side, the 2 times he's been here, we've been to the Super Bowl with a championship. Reed Blankenship's at his best when he's got Chauncey next to him. So there's a lot of pros and cons to this CJGJ. The thing is, we just drafted Drew Makuba. That's his job. So what are you going to do with Chauncey? Someone says, put him in the slot. You're not going to put him in the slot. You already have an all-pro slot. He hasn't played the slot since 2021 with the Saints. There's also a reason why whoever takes him will be his sixth team in a 5-year span. There's so many pros and cons to the CJ-GJ situation that I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a smart move. Because if you're going to bring somebody in, you're going to bring in an outside corner. At this point, are you really bringing a safety? Drew Makuba's done well enough. Unless we have an injury at safety sometime soon, you really don't need CJ-GJ here. Isaiah Rodgers was our biggest loss after 3 weeks of games. CJ's obviously a problem in the locker room. It's the Saints, then the Eagles, then the Lions, then the Eagles, then the Texans, and now whoever else. That's in 5 years. Not even 5 full years because this year's not completed. It's kind of crazy how a guy as talented as Chauncey has been on so many different teams in such a short span. He's obviously a good player. Not a great player, but a very good player. Ringo will step up or he will not. It's time for him to shit or get off the pot, basically, right? It's his opportunity to take back. And if he goes out there on Sunday, Kelee, and plays well, Adoree Jackson might get waived soon. Jacorian Bennett will stay the backup Thursday. The Eagles want, how about I phrase it this way? The Eagles want Kelee Ringo to step up and lock this job down for the rest of the season. The Eagles' job gets easier if Kelee Ringo can handle that job. The Eagles, Howie Roseman's job of finishing the fringes of this roster, for the end of the season gets easier if Ringo is there and starting. Rodgers is a loss. Howie is still just a human being. Yeah, I mean, for the price Rodgers got paid, and it's a glaring conversation, Isaiah Rodgers, because of the touchdowns this past week. But overall, also because of how bad Adoree Jackson has been. What's up, Dante? How you doing this morning? Good morning. I'm praying for a win for the Birds Sunday. It's a tough living down here losing to the Bucs. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Philly fans down there in the Gulf Coast, and it's definitely got to be tough. I know a couple of you that live down there that I interact with, and it's not easy, Dante, for you guys. So let's get the win. Let's hope they can handle the heat on the field and from the Buccaneers, and let's hope they can push forward and get a win. Eagles social media team is always on the field game day. There you go. They are fining Dom like he's a player. I don't think he makes star. I mean, I'm pretty sure Dom makes big money for sure. Maybe not star player money, but he's well compensated. I think the fine is so big because they've had problems with Big Dom before. They fined him for stepping on the field, getting involved in things. The league does not like Big Dom, we'll just say. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Thank God Mike Evans is out, but we got to stop the run, which has been difficult. Yeah, look, I mean, the Eagles' run, it's early, 3 weeks only, but the Eagles' run defense is 29th in the league right now at 133.3 yards per game. They got to be better at it. Bucky Irvin, Rasheed White, Baker Mayfield. We struggled containing Patrick Mahomes. Baker Mayfield is a much more mobile quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. I think Baker Mayfield's got over 100 yards rushing this year. So it's a thing. It's a concern. Big time. My biggest concern is how do we fix the run defense at this point? My concern is that Uncle Vic might sell out to stop the run. You can sell out to an extent, Duck. It's not a bad game plan. They're missing Mike Evans. You got Quinion Mitchell, Cooper Dejean out there. You can sell out to stop the run because you've got the people on the back end capable because of how weak or how lack of depth that the Buccaneers have back there. You got to stop Godwin if he plays, and you got to stop Kate Otten. And that's it. Ringo might stink, but this is going to be his chance. This is going to be his opportunity. This is going to be his shot. You had one shot. Lay it all on the line. You know the rest of the words. A vested veteran, he is automatically a free agent. The Birds actually can sign him. I don't know. Everybody's posting something different, Nooms. A lot of people are posting that the NFL rules say you cannot sign a guy you traded away that didn't play 4 games with that team. That was released. He would have to stay one more week, and then they can. I've seen people share a lot of different things, but whatever. Yeah, Chauncey's reputation, culture, whatever you want to talk it, would fit him in just perfectly fine with those Dallas Cowboys and all the drama that they have in Dallas down there. CJ is a locker room issue similar to Reddick. So much talent, just not a team player. The thing is, like, as bad as he was, the 2 Super Bowls under Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts were with CJ GJ here. So let's not forget that. He is not subject to the waiver wire, absolutely. But if he was, that would be the way we could get him. Is a head case. Don't need that around a young defense like the Eagles. He is like a defensive version of AV, talented but not worth the headache. I don't know if he's as bad as I'm assuming you mean Antonio Brown. I don't think he's as much of an issue there. But we forget. He trash-talked us on the way out to Detroit. And then we welcomed him back with open arms. He said whatever. He just trash-talked us again this offseason. And now everybody wants to welcome him back again. And I don't buy it. I think we're fine at this point. I think Kelee was just surprised that Rodgers got paid so little. I would have hoped that Rodgers came back and asked to match or beat the number, but I think Rodgers wanted out of Philly to start. The thing is, I think the second part, I think it wasn't the money. Rodgers wanted as best of an opportunity to start. He knew the Eagles were going to try to get Kelee Ringo, their draft pick, all the opportunities to start. Kelee Ringo couldn't get it. I think Isaiah Rodgers, if Dory Jackson could beat out Kelee Ringo, or if Dory Jackson could beat out Kelee Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers would have as well. But I think Isaiah Rodgers didn't want to have to take that chance of beating Dory. He wanted to start. He wanted to play. And you want players that want to play. The Eagles' problem with the run is now that Slim Davis exists, he's going for the quarterback. I think so. I think there's something to whoever said it yesterday on the show. I think there's a lot to be made of Jalen Carter potentially being injured, to the run defense slacking right now. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, he battled a shoulder injury through training camp, and he missed a lot of training camp, so he's not in shape. You see him grasping his arm, wrist, hand after almost every single play. He's like holding it like it's dead sometimes. At one point, the first time I saw it, I thought his arm was dislocated the way he was holding it. But he's got something wrong down here. And when your job is to attack an offensive lineman with your hands, and you got pain in this area, it makes your job very difficult. And he's still playing well. He's just not playing at that all-pro dominant defensive player of the year level right now. And I don't know how you fix it, whether you rest him or not, but I got to believe that the run defense is suffering because of Jalen Carter's injury. Now, they're not going to talk about it. They're saying he's fine. But clearly he's holding his arm and hand a lot every single game. They basically are over-pursuing to get the sacks. And they're not getting the sacks either while they're at it. You know, I wonder if Milton Williams has anything to do. The loss of Milton Williams. Morojomo had a great training camp. He's been okay. He hasn't stood out massively at any game. The edges aren't doing a great job at containing the edges. They're not doing a bad job, but not a great job at it. Does Josh Sweat loss have anything to do with that? Don't take Bucks for granted. Bucks bang up since week one. Look, nobody's taking. If you're gonna, out of all 17 games the Bucks will face this year in the regular season, the Eagles will be the one team that definitely will not take the Bucks for granted, because what's our record versus the Bucks over the last 4 or 5 years? It's not good. Since Jalen Hurts has taken over, we have struggled with the Bucks massively. Todd Bowles has our number. Baker Mayfield does. You're not going to get anybody taking them for granted. Trust me for that. Aaron Rodgers is 4th best quarterback leader ever. What? Aaron Rodgers sucks. Does Eagles have a Clearwater crew? There's a lot of Eagles fans down in Florida on the Gulf Coast there. CJ references the ring to settles social media beefs. I'm willing to bet the Super Bowl has gone to his head, and there's no way he's going to be humbled because he doesn't care. I mean, that's possible, Steven. You know, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is an ego-driven guy. He's got a big ego. He's got a big everything. But yeah, Baker gonna run a lot this game. I mean, if Patrick Mahomes is rushing for 60-plus yards against our defense because we get the Bucks guy, I talk about it all the time, the almost sack stat. We are the leader of the almost sack. We almost get you, but then you break free and take off for a big run. Baker's going to have a field day in that. Are the Rays doomed to play in that armpit Tropicana field? Man, the Rays, man, that Tropicana field, it's a dump. It's a dump. What's up, Mitchy Poo? Yes, you missed it. Are we still at 670? Did we gain any more here since the show started? Let me do a quick refresh on my side screen here. If you guys have not, please like, please share, and of course, please subscribe. Yeah, still sitting at 670. 12 likes on the video, 15 votes on the poll. That means some of you have not hit the like and poll vote yet, guys. So please hit all those buttons. I'd greatly appreciate it. Eagles have won 19 of their last 20 games. Only second team to ever do that. Absolutely. The Eagles, and they're 18-0 in the last 18 games that Jalen Hurts has started and finished. Look, the Eagles are a great football team, Anthony. The best. Even when they're not playing, they're the best. Even when the Eagles aren't playing their best, they still are the best. But it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's not forget about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's not take them for granted. Let's not take them lightly. Something about it. Something about the water in Tampa. And it seems like we play Tampa in Tampa all the time. So how do you know Chauncey has big F? Yeah. That's why I kind of chuckled when I said that, because I knew I said those words wrong. And I figured since Mitchy Poo was in the chat, he'd pick up on it. I should have known you would have picked up on it as well. He's got a big ego, is what I meant. But, yeah. Good morning, Big Al. How you doing this fine Wednesday morning? The Eagles struggle against Tampa Bay Buccaneers because of the cornerback blitz. That's Hurts' kryptonite. That's an interesting. And in the last game against the Rams, we saw a couple, I don't know if they were we saw some outside blitzes from linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks, whatever, and they struggled to pick that up. Saquon's actually missed a couple blocks. He's supposed to be known as a great blitz pickup running back, and he's kind of missed a couple this year early on. So that's something. The Birds have to lose at some point, don't they? Yes. Not saying it's okay if they lose. I'm saying prepare yourself. They're going to lose. They're not going to win 17 straight games this year. I think the Heat will be a factor for the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, the Heat's always a factor. We're a very smart, analytic type team. I'm sure they're taking precautions and prepping these guys, trying their best to keep them hydrated, so not to cramp up. I mean, go back to 2020 with Andy Reid and the pickle juice game. If you don't know what the pickle juice game is, Bucks, Google the Eagles pickle juice game. So for the last couple decades, this Eagles organization has had a battle Heat and has found ways to battle it. But that withstanding, the Heat, is a factor against the Eagles, and it's a factor to help the Bucks. Not an excuse, but it is a factor. Would it be different if we played Tampa in Philly? My confidence would be different, absolutely. I'd be a little bit more confident, but I'd still be concerned. Because, again, the Eagles struggle against Todd Bowles' defensive schemes. The Eagles struggle with quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield. If you don't wrap up right away, a quarterback that can improvise like Baker Mayfield is definitely tough for all defenses. He's like Jalen Hurts, is never going to put up the biggest flashy stats, Baker Mayfield. But he's a guy that's got that it factor. He never gives up on a play, let alone a game or a season. He's always going to be fighting for one more yard. He's always going to be a very aggressive quarterback, too, which is unlike Jalen Hurts. He's always going to try to force it down the field. Things that Baker Mayfield do make it a very tough matchup. Now, we are lucking out with the lack of Mike Evans going to be playing in the game. We don't know if Chris Godwin will or not. So that will help the Eagles big time. But we'll see. Heat acclimation is really important. According to 99.9% of Eagles Nation and Eagles organization. But according to Vic Fangio, the Heat is just a mindset. And if you have the right mindset, the Heat's no big deal. I still remember the pictures of Vic Fangio in sweatpants and a sweatshirt in training camp in 100-degree weather. The Heat's no big deal to Vic Fangio. On a side note, I want to be able to be as old as Vic Fangio and just give zero Fs about the world like him. That dude is one of the most famous defensive coordinators in the history of football, or at least in the league right now. That dude goes out there in the most beat-up old sweatpants, the ugly, dirty, tattered hoodie, and just like, yeah. He's like an old-school classic Delco guy, Big Al, going to Tom and Jerry's on a Thursday night for roast beef sandwiches. I forget what night was their roast beef sandwich night. Anyway, you know what I mean. Like, he's the guy sitting at the bar that he doesn't even have to say his name. The bartender just brings his Miller Lite over to him when he sits down. I want to be like Vic Fangio, where I don't care how I look. I just go about my day and do my job. Vic Fangio is quite the character, and I just love it. Oh, don't worry about the heat. It's just a mindset. It's kind of what I tell people when they come into my pizza shop in the dead of summer. Oh, my God, it's so hot in here. No shit, it's a pizza oven. 500-degree pizza oven running right next to me. Of course it's hot. I'm like, it's all a mindset. That's what I tell them. If you don't think about it, it's no big deal, and you just made me think about it by mentioning it. I'm hoping this flu running through the Phillies locker room is coming to an end. Hope for Real Muto is doing okay. I am slightly concerned that we are getting cold, the Philadelphia Phillies offense and the bullpen and the pitching, except for Chris Sanchez, at the absolute worst possible time, Big Al. Because we are going to get a first-round bye, a wild card bye. Means we're going to be cold and then sit for a week. And then, so basically 2 weeks of either bad or no baseball. And then we're going to have to flip a switch. And that's a concern to me. Trey taking BP is exciting. They say he might be activated this weekend, which would be good for sure. The heat is always an issue when the play here, going back to McNabb throwing up in the huddle. It's going to rain too, so hopefully that neutralizes the heat some. Yeah. What's the rain forecast, Dante? How much is supposed to rain? When's it supposed to rain? Mike Evans will not play. Will help out a lot. Absolutely. Again, like we said yesterday, and we'll say it again today, Mike Evans is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the last 25 years in the NFL. But we didn't come to a consensus. 10, 11, 12 straight years of 1,000-yard receiving. It's a huge loss for the Buccaneers. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens are not the same this year. Don't be shocked to see many A-gap blitzes this week and then putting Barkley in blitz pickup. Yeah, look, Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens got hurt at the end of last year, had surgery in the offseason, didn't practice in OTAs. They started in training camp. Landon Dickerson, on top of that, has been hurt multiple times in training camp and to start this year. The knee, the back. Cam Jurgens is back. I would be shocked if they're both 100%. Well, we know Landon Dickerson isn't. Cam Jurgens, too. And no, they are not playing at the level we expect them to right now. But they're at 80%. They're still better than half the league. But that's definitely affecting the running game, the blitz pick it up, all that kind of stuff. It also affects Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts doesn't have 100% confidence in the guy, that's when he gets his happy feet. Arguing with your offense coordinator is a part of the maturity process for the franchise quarterback. Brady and Manning argued with their OCs constantly. Great point right there, mister. I think too much is made of that whole situation. Way too much. And this is a spot-on comment right here. We always saw Tom Brady and Peyton Manning getting in the face of the play callers. Always. Because they want to get on the same page. And Jalen Hurts has talked about it. We've talked about it. How his confidence level is sky high right now because of the Super Bowl in being able to do these kind of things. Godwin is not back Sunday. They said there was a chance. I haven't seen them say he's definitely not playing, but I heard a chance that he would play, but it wasn't a for sure thing. Now I want a roast beef Sammy from Tom and Jerry's. I used to so many days there. I spent so many nights in college there and post-college there. Man. Brady would always yell on the sidelines. Yeah. Showing that passion. And we're starting to see more and more of that from Jalen Hurts, which is good. Do you want the ball first, or are you going to go to start the second half? See, I actually am a huge receive the opening kickoff in certain situations. Against the Bucs, a team you've struggled against. I'm going to take the ball first in this game. What's happening, Keith? How you doing? Mike Evans does kill us, and he's not going to be playing. So that's a check mark in our favor right there. Tampa's defense is 17th in success rate, and Baker leads the league in turnover-worthy plays. He's a very aggressive guy. Baker Mayfield's always going to be that aggressive quarterback. It's a good thing sometimes, and it's a bad thing other times. He's going to win you games with that aggressiveness, and he's going to lose you games with that aggressiveness. And yeah, Tampa's defense is not great. Their total yards per game, 12th in the league. Passing yards given up a game, 19th. They have the 6th best run defense. They've given up 17th. They're 17th in points per game given up. My experience, rain does not help the heat or humidity much in Tampa. It goes right back to high both when the rain stops. That is true. That is true. It's 11. I agreed to 11, then someone else said 12, then someone else said 10. We'll just pick the middle at 11. That's fine. What's up, K1? Hope you're good today. Who was the Phillies' ace pitcher without Wheeler? It's clearly Christopher Sanchez. Another dominant performance from him last night. Christopher Sanchez will start game 1 of the playoffs. That has already been announced. They have not announced anything else. So it'll be Sanchez 1, probably Ranger 2, most likely Luzardo 3. So we're going to go 3 straight lefties in a playoff series. And I don't know if that's ever been done before. Dickerson and being hydrated is a concern this week. The Eagles have to keep all their guys hydrated this week. It'll be a massive, massive part of the story. Keeping the cramps from not happening. That's a big thing. Cold weather teams playing in the heat, don't cramp up. I don't think enough is made of him yelling at Patullo. He never yelled at any of his other OCs. I don't think enough is made of it. Well, see, no. So I get that, okay? Because they communicate him and take him into consideration. So I think when I say too much is being made, that I think people think because he yelled at him, he just turned the headset off and called the plays on his own. I think that is the aspect of it that's being overblown. It's not that I don't believe Nick Sirianni that Patullo, I don't think Patullo called every play in the second half of that football game, but I think Kevin Patullo was still calling plays. But I actually love to see Jalen Hurts yelling at him, and I don't know if it was necessarily yelling. And to not believe Nick Sirianni, by the way, Kevin Patullo, I don't believe this comment from Kevin Patullo. He said, I don't even remember what Jalen said. It was just part of the game flow and in a moment. I don't believe for 1 second that he doesn't remember that. I had a roast beef over at Denise's yesterday. I'm a huge roast beef guy. I love a good hot roast beef sandwich with a good au jus for dipping. It's like my favorite sandwich, especially if you got a really good horseradish to go with it. Jury duty again today. Go get everybody in that jury room to subscribe. When Hurts is allowed to control the game, audible with pace, and throw to the boundaries he has at his best. Absolutely. And they should be building the offense around that, not trying to slow that down. The fact that it took 5 halves of football before they let him pick up the pace is a big concern to me. Durant's pregame ritual will be a big joke if he keeps putting 101 down the middle. Yeah, look, I've talked about it for a while, Nooms, and I don't know if the numbers really back this theory up, but I've been saying it for a couple of weeks. I think they were overusing Durant and Robertson and some of these other guys. And they're starting to leak oil in that bullpen a little bit. I think Robertson's ERA after last night is up to over 4 now. I think they started to use these guys a little too much. And here we are now, 5 games left in the season, and we're leaking oil. Kirk needs to be off the playoff roster. I don't think you can do that. But you got to be careful when and where you use him in the playoffs, Kirk Green. I don't think it was a yelling at him like everyone was taking. I think it was yelling in the terms of like, let's effing go. Agreed, Steven. And I think this is why it was also, overblown. He wasn't talking down to Kevin Patullo. He was like, let's go. Let's unlock it. This is what I see. Let's do it. Let's get this going. I think a little too much is made of it in that sense. So, yeah. We find the defendant guilty of not subscribing to Phil's channel. Yes, absolutely. You're going away for 30 to life if you do not subscribe. I can make a deal and get it down to 15 with time served if you subscribe. Doing a quick refresh here. We're still sitting at 670. No more new ones. We're at 14 likes on the video, but 18 votes on the poll. That means 4 people that voted didn't like the video. So, guys, hit that like button, subscribe, share, vote on the poll question, guys, please. I think Eagles win this week. The Bucs fan says the Eagles win this week because Bucs are banged up. The Eagles are, to an extent, not as banged up as the Bucs, but they are banged up. Lane Johnson, We're not sure. We'll find out a little bit more about him today. He claims he'll play, but I don't know. He didn't look good on the sideline. That would be a big loss. Landon Dickerson is banged up, playing injured. Jalen Carter's playing injured. We're going to be without our cornerback 2 and the backup to cornerback 2. So we're going with our third-string cornerback at the cornerback 2 position. So there's some banged-up Eagles as well. Dallas Goedert is coming back from a knee sprain. He had a big touchdown. But on the flip side, he didn't really do much else last week. So the Eagles do have some issues. Not as bad as the Bucs, but do. Look, I think it's telling that the Eagles, with as much as their reputation is bad against the Bucs, and the fact that they haven't played well yet this year, and they're going to Tampa to face an undefeated Tampa Bay Bucs team, and the Eagles are still 3.5-point favorites. To me, that's very telling on what the sports books, because they're trying to get people to bet the Bucs there. The Bucs are undefeated. The Bucs dominate the Eagles. The Bucs this, the Bucs that. But we're going to make the line 3.5 to encourage you to bet the Bucs. So a 3.5-point Eagles line tells me that the bookies think the Eagles win this game, at least at this point. So is it just me, or is Cam Jurgens not playing as well? I mean, Nooms has said that. I think he just said it a few minutes ago, and he also has said that regularly in the last week or two, that Cam Jurgens has not played as well. Now, I don't know if he's regressing as a center. I don't know if he's banged up. Obviously, he had a back surgery in the offseason. Never a good thing. Yeah, he's not playing as well. But I've said that a while, like the whole offensive line is not playing as well as they used to. There's a lot that goes into that. But Cam Jurgens, maybe he's hurt. Maybe he's regressing. I'm not sure. But again, it's only 3 weeks. So let's be patient. And there's no other option. Whether he plays well or not, there's no other option for him at center. The whole offensive line has been struggling compared to last year. Absolutely agree. They have not been in tip-top Eagles stout U offensive line. There's a lot of pieces to that. Is Steen, instead of Becton, hurting them? Lane Johnson banged up. Dickerson, yeah. I mean, Jordan Mailata is probably playing the best of everybody, and he's even made some mistakes this year. What's up, EC? Oh, we're going to EC 1-2 time. Gotcha. Cut Sidney. Go get my boy CJ. Him and Makuba be scary. So you're starting Chauncey and Makuba and benching Reed Blankenship. So you're going to play 2 guys that play the same type of safety in CJ and Drew. See, the thing with CJ is, not only is it not happening, most likely, not only are we unsure about the rules that he might not be allowed to be here, I don't think there's a place for him on this team. If you're going to add to this defense, you're adding another edge rusher or you're adding another cornerback. You're not adding to the safety room. Not because we're deep. We're not deep at safety. If Drew Makuba got hurt or Reed Blankenship got hurt, we're screwed. Right now we got Makuba, Sidney, Reed, Marcus Epps. That's basically it. That's not a very deep secondary or safety room. But I don't think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson would accept a depth role like Sidney Brown, playing 20 snaps a game. So I don't, not only do I not think it will happen because I don't think it legally can happen, but on the flip side, I don't think Chauncey on the current roster fits with what he wants. He wants to play a certain style. He wants to play a certain amount. The Eagles are needing depth, not a starter at this point. I don't think that works for Chauncey. Get my boy Chauncey type. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I just don't think it fits or works at this point. What's up? Good morning, Bruce Harper. How you doing today? If Bucs play cover 2, then hopefully we send Dallas Goedert on more deeper seam routes. Feels like we don't do that enough. Last week, I think Dallas Goedert was I was even shocked that he played, period. So the big touchdown catch was a pretty easy, open pitch and catch. He didn't have to do much on that. I think this week will be more healthy, so that'll be good. Bucs don't have Golston or Barnett anymore. The Bucs are still an undefeated team through 3 weeks. Bucs offensive line, 3 starters out, 2 starters, wide receiver out, 1 starter defensive end out. Look, the Bucs are banged up way more than the Eagles. They're still 3-0 because they find ways to win, and that's what you look for in a team. a team that can overcome adversity. The Bucs can do that. Hurts not dropped. Can't be docile and talk nice with men. They won't believe in you. Have to be abrasive and aggressive. To an extent, yes. You don't have to be abrasive and aggressive in a mean way. You could do it in a leadership way, for sure. Reed be rotational. Yeah, I'm a Reed Blankenship guy in a sense where I think he's good enough. He's also a great leader, EC1. They love him in that defensive room, okay? He is one of, if not the top leader on this defense. There's a reason why there's only 2 captains, and he's one of them. That loss last night sucked. I feel bad. My sister took my 2 young nieces to the game last night on a school night, and then it goes into rain delay. I guarantee she did not keep those 2 kids at that game till the end. Being banged up cornerback 2 right now is oddly enough a good timing. Mike Evans probably a no-go. Mike Evans has been ruled out. Godwin is questionable still. So it is a good timing for sure to give Kelee Ringo his shot. And I love to see Vic Fangio, who Vic Fangio typically is a very don't compliment you too much type guy. But Vic Fangio spoke pretty positively about Kelee Ringo yesterday. Vic Fangio spoke about how he's been staying ready. He told him he was going to get his chance to stay ready, to focus and do the work and take advantage of your opportunities on special teams and this and that. And Kelee Ringo has done that. And there's a reason why Kelee Ringo is getting the confidence of Vic Fangio. There's a chance that Vic Fangio wanted Kelee Ringo to start all along. I wouldn't be shocked by that. Reed Blankenship actually played well outside his tendencies this past week. Yeah, I mean, again, you get what you get. You get some good games with Reed. You get some bad games with Reed. But you get great leadership every single game from Reed. I feel we will win 34-24 versus the Bucs. Saquon rushed for more than 100 yards, have 2 touchdowns. I can see that. I haven't really thought too long and hard, Bruce, yet about the score. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around this week and how it plays out, keeping an eye on the Bucs injuries. But I think that would be a possibility. The Eagles offense hasn't quite put up that kind of numbers yet, but maybe this is the week. We'll see. I got to think about that. I'm still thinking about that score right now. Adam Schefter said, rules. We can't sign him today. Yes, there's a lot of different rules. And while I believe the rule says we can't sign him, some other people are saying we can. Look, NFL rules are complicated as all hell. So maybe there's a loophole to it, and if they wanted to, they could. But I'm not. He says there's no rules. We can't sign him. So see, that's the thing. There's so many different rules floating around. That's why I'm not working for the NFL. The rules are too damn complicated. People freaking out over the O-line. I really think it's just injuries, but it is scary. The injuries are piling up early this year. At JT, absolutely. Are you an Eagles fan with a Dak Prescott profile picture? I can't see. The injuries on the offensive line aren't stacking up per se. Lane Johnson's a big injury, and I'm shocked. 21 votes in this poll, and it looks like only one person voted that their concern is Lane Johnson's injury. Lane Johnson being hurt's a big deal. Landon Dickerson is banged up. Cam Jurgens came back from a back injury last year. I just think that there's something off with this line. It's going to be up to the GOAT, Jeff Stoutland, to get these guys playing together better. What's the point in bringing in CJ? Our Super Bowl hopes were ended when we promoted Patullo. Well, I agree. What's the point? But also, I don't think that our Super Bowl dreams ended with Kevin Patullo. All right, I think that we're being a little too harsh on Kevin Patullo 3 weeks into a season when Kellen Moore took 5 or 6 weeks to start getting this offense humming and hawing last year. So patience is the key at this point. We are 3-0, by the way. I don't know if you know that, Davey. Tampa's good, but they only have 6 more points than they gave up so far. Overrated a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I looking at all their team stats, and their defense is solid, especially against the run. So your prediction of 100 rushing yards for Barkley, I mean, they only give up 84 a game the first 3 weeks. Their offense is good. They run the ball really well. We struggle to stop the run. We'll see. I'm still wrapping my head around it. I think the Eagles definitely can win this game. The question is, will they? And that's where I'm still debating. I'm not freaking out about the O-line yet. They need time to ramp up like everyone else. I think this week will be different. I hope so. I think some of the cornerbacks in Houston did not see eye to eye with Chauncey. That is true. I did hear reports that he was very adamant in the locker room about the way the defense was playing and leaving them on an island when he shouldn't. Yeah. Definitely some lock. It did not take long, Nooms, for after they released Chauncey to the time that reports of him causing problems in the locker room. It was literally like 2 seconds later that information was leaked. Vic Fangio is blitzing at an unusually higher rate this year. Likewise, Hurts is seeing a higher percentage of blitzes than usual. Jeff Moser goes into the numbers. Look, yes and yes. And Vic Fangio is doing a little bit more. Jalen Hurts is seeing it more. Jalen Hurts is picking it up better, too. Jalen Hurts is getting rid of the ball when necessary in that blitz, too. Ringo better stay on special teams. Well, he's not. He is going to be starting on Sunday. Almost definitely. And it's going to be time for Kelee to shit or get off the pot. Plain and simple. Defense are also loading up more in the box to stop the run this year. Yeah. And what was it? LA blitzed 1/3 of the time. Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo, who is known as a heavy blitzing DC, K1, blitzed at his highest rate in 6 years against the Eagles in week 2. Explain how special an athlete Ohtani is to a baseball dummy like me. I mean, Shohei Ohtani is the whole package. He's marketable. He's great at hitting a baseball. He pitches. He's so great and confident that he would only sign contracts with teams that will let him do both. I mean, we have not seen an Ohtani-type baseball player literally since Babe Ruth. Someone that can pitch and hit at a Hall of Fame level. People forget Babe Ruth was a really damn good pitcher before he just went to hitting. Ohtani is great at that. Now, he can't play defense much. He can't throw from the outfield or anything like that. So he's a DH and a pitcher. But man, where Juan Soto wasn't worth the money, in my opinion. Shohei Ohtani is worth every penny he gets paid because of his performance on the field and the eyes he brings off the field. Cut Matt Stinkin' Pryor. God, he was whiffing on blocks. Yeah, Matt Pryor was really bad. And if Lane Johnson cannot go, it will be Fred Johnson. I'm almost sure of it on Sunday. Okay? We got 3 O-linemen playing hurt next week. I think Juergens and Dickerson really affected by prior injuries. I think Juergens' prior injury, Dickerson prior injury, and current injury. I mean, he literally had a meniscus surgery 2 weeks before the season. And he's coming off of the other stuff, too. So, yeah. I just read that CJ freelanced on defense that resulted in big plays. Yes, I read that as well. Plus, they're 0-3. So, when you're 0-3, why have a locker room cancer, right? That's Dak crying. Okay. You got to understand, like, it's like that big on my screen. Okay, so I couldn't tell. Just making sure. I feel our offense will put up bigger scores now that we are letting Hurts be the true leader. I'm hoping that second half, Bruce, did unlock the offense going forward for sure. I don't really want Chauncey back. We've gotten rid of him twice. There has to be something we aren't seeing about the eccentric. Absolutely. I don't think it's something we're not seeing. I think we are seeing exactly what it is. Talented player, massive head case. You know, think Eagles have edge this week. I think they do. But it's very close. Matt Pryor, Sidney Brown, missing tackle, Adoree Jackson, both are liability. He stinks. You know, all our weak spots on this team. Do we use Fred Johnson on the shove to protect Lane's neck? Maybe. That's actually not a bad idea. Especially Matt Pryor. They need to cut him. God, he whiffed on blocks. He's a veteran. He's been around. He's played a lot of positions. He played very bad. There's no doubt about it. All right, we gained another one. We're up to 671. Guys, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe, please. I bet the lack of Lane Johnson votes is because of him saying he should be good. Yes, but also, we all watched the game together. He didn't look good on the sideline. Lane Johnson's one tough SOB. I didn't realize that Tampa Bay was so good against the run, so I will maybe change my prediction. Okay. Well, that's why I'm still letting it. I never make predictions early in the week. I got to let it marinate. I got to finish my research and stuff like that. Fangio actually has better blitzers with Campbell and Makuba here. Their ability to pursue at the right angle is great. Great point. Great point. I think that the NFL in general has increased their blitzes. It's possible. Ohtani is special. Absolutely. Why is the overlay orange when we were not talking about the Flyers? I said it. The overlay has gone orange for the week in the honor of the late, great Eagles goalie, Bernie Parent, who passed away this past weekend. Got to meet Bernie a couple times in social settings. An amazing individual, the greatest Flyers goalie of all time. So we've gone orange this week, Mitchie Poo, in honor of Bernie Parent. We'll go back to green next week, okay? I take Chauncey in that slot corner spot. That's so many people have talked about this, and I hate it. I don't want Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as my slot corner for two reasons, okay? One, he has not played slot corner since 2021, and he was so not good enough at it that they had to convert him to a safety, all right? Second, we have the greatest slot corner in the NFL in Cooper Dejean. Why are we going to move Cooper Dejean outside when he's already elite at one position? You don't fix a hole by creating another hole. All right? Chauncey is not a slot corner anymore. Okay? Cooper Dejean is the best at it in football. This constant desire, and I'm not ripping you, JT, I'm just giving you my opinion. The constant desire from Eagles fans to want Cooper Dejean to be an outside cornerback when he is a perfect slot corner. He's perfect for Vic Fangio as a slot corner. He's exactly what you need in a slot corner for Vic Fangio. Why do we want to mess up such a good thing? Cooper Dejean is not moving from the slot. We get this through our heads. Cooper Dejean is the slot cornerback for a very, very long time. Phil talked Flyers for 10 minutes. I did talk about 10 minutes of Flyers yesterday. So how about that? Defenses are loading the box because they know for the first 10 quarters of the season they aren't throwing the ball downfield. Let's hope that last two quarters gives us a little breathing room this year. That's our allotment for the season. No. We're going to talk Flyers this year. We're going to mix it up. 25 Mets are the 21 Phillies now. Only thing missing is Gabe Kapler, yeah? Ohtani is a hate the face for me. I get Major Dude. Oh, I get them too. Absolutely. And him making his translator take the blame for him drives me crazy. You think he will be a high-score game or low-scoring game? I can't figure that out yet. I mean, it could be a 24-20 type game. It could be a 35-31 type game. It really depends on too many factors that I'm not prepared to answer. My score will be Friday, but I'll have a little bit better feeling tomorrow after I see the Eagles' first practice today. I see the Eagles' practice report and any other things the Eagles do. I'll have a better idea where I'm leaning on the game tomorrow. I wasn't sold on Patullo press conference. He made it like he was happy with his performance. Yeah, look, I wrote that down, EC1. Kevin Patullo sounds too confident, within parentheses, why? I watch every press conference. I take notes on every press conference. My note was, Patullo sounds too confident. Why? Are you reading my mind? Do you see my notebook? Is that what's going on here? This has a feel of a 2017 game. It does. 2017 lost, honestly. Bottom line, you're going to see no huddle on second and third, and you're not going to see it. There was a lot of that in the first half. The moment they get to second and short, you see no huddle. First down, kind of important. Not trying to set up the tush push, trying to set up a first down. Do you want the ball first in the second half? I'm anti deferring. I'm gonna take the ball first and put the pressure on the opposing team. Okay, especially when you've got a great defense, and the Eagles have a great defense. So I'm gonna get the ball first kind of guy. CJ can be slot cornerback on a dime package. That's about it. I mean, yeah, he's not a slot corner. What's up, Marshawn? I don't know where he fits on this team, but the Eagles need CJ on the team. I strongly disagree with you, Marshawn. I don't see where he fits in the sense of he wants to play. Like, if you bring in CJ, you've got to start him. Whose snaps are you taking away? Are you benching Drew Makuba for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson right now? I don't think so. You can't play Chauncey and Drew at the same time. They're both too small for that. There's no room on this team because Chauncey isn't going to take a Sidney Brown 20 snaps a game, play special teams role. And that's the problem. Boo-hoo, you've got a job, you do it, no excuses. What? What? Okay. I'm not moving Cooper. I would never move Cooper from that slot. People are, he wants to get paid as an outside corner. Of course he does. And he will get paid as an outside corner because he's the best slot corner in football. And only getting better. He's only 3 games into his second season. We already want to change that. We know he's an elite slot corner. We think he could be a great outside corner. We don't know that. College is different than the NFL. We don't know what he would do. What Cooper's skill set is also fit Vic Fangio's defense perfectly. A guy not afraid to tackle, a guy that can blitz, that can play in the box, can play cover tight ends, slot wide receivers, everything. You don't want that. It is the Phillies Karen is the hottest selling Halloween costume this year. It is too easy for outside observers to blame the OC. The O-line isn't playing well. The offense isn't executing. The defense is getting run on. Fix that first. Absolutely, Keith, I absolutely agree with you. There's so much that is going wrong. And shockingly, we're still 3-0 against a couple good teams, too. So, yeah. Sorry, Joe Girardi, not Cap. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, another one. Keep those subscriber cups. Keep liking if you haven't. Vote on the poll. Subscribe, guys. We do this. For anybody new tuning in, we are live Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for 90 minutes of sports talk. Drop any of your thoughts, opinions. I see some new commenters in the chat. We'll get you in a second. Guys, we do this every day. Look at Adam, tracking subs. He's my man. Adam's my boy. He's an OG. But I might take having a solid outside corner and a solid slot corner over having the massive hole. I don't think it's as massive as a hole as we think. Joy Jackson actually got better last week from his previous week. He did improve before he was injured. I'd rather have 2 elite and 1 average cornerback than 1 elite and 2 solid. So you want a 10 and 2 7s. I'll take 2 10s and a 5. So mine's thinking like we're on the same page. I mean, it's like is there a cat? Is one of these lights really a camera? Are you spying on me? Do you work for the CIA? Oh, well, that was a weird Dexter reference. What was? I've never seen Dexter, so I don't know. How long until we get a Brown Makuba injury and people start telling us who we should have signed? I get it, and that's why you got Marcus Epps too. And what they're going to have to do. See, here's another thing, Nooms. Marcus Epps has already been promoted 3 times, okay, from the practice squad. So they got to put him on the active roster or they got to get rid of him. All right? So you're going to be elevating Marcus Epps to the actual roster this week. So there's your other safety right there. What's up, my dad's chips? Joan Durant crapped the bed last night. Yes, he's done it a few times and talked about it earlier in the show, that I've been talking about it for months, that we might have been over extending our bullpen a little bit lately. We've been using the same guys a few too much, and it is a concern. Luckily, we have, a week off to rest them up before we play in the NLDS. But, yeah, I'm concerned about Durant. Nooms has said in the chat multiple times about his fastball, lack of his curveball being used. It's a concern. Robertson's struggling lately. Kirk's obviously struggled. Yeah, the bats have gone a little bit cold. I got you. Thank you. I appreciate it. We do this every day. Sophie, what's up? How you doing? That's commitment. Dude, I've been doing this morning show for almost 4 straight years. Only on my own personal channel for last year. Started this channel last year when my last network kind of went away. So this is a new channel in a relative sense, hence the low subscriber number. But I've been going live every morning for 4 years. I've probably missed 10 days in the last 4 years, Monday through Fridays. And most of the time it's work-related. Plus now we do watch parties on Sundays. We hang out and watch the games together here as well. There's another one, 673. How about that? James, Duke, he's a character. Is it? Now, I've always wanted to watch Dexter, but it's one of those shows. My wife's already watched it. So when we binge watch shows, it's got to be a new show. I'm going to do a poll in a couple weeks because we got about 14 episodes left of Better Call Saul. Then we're going to have to pick our next show to binge watch, and I've got a couple on the list. So I'm going to put it to the people. I have way more concerns about Kirk than I do Durant. Yeah, but Kirk's going to be a 6th inning guy, most likely, most of the time. Your 9th inning is Durant. 7th and 8th is a combination of Robertson, Strahm, and Banks. So Kirk Green might not get used enough for it to be as big of a concern. Durant will get used in every 9th inning save situation. So that's why. It's such a struggle trying to keep Phil up to speed with the chat sometimes. I do my best. I try my best. Rest them. Yeah, absolutely. The problem will be Bader and a week off. I am concerned. If we were going into the week off on a win streak, I'd be a little less concerned than going in. We've now lost 5 of our last 8 games. 4 in a row, I believe it is. They started using Robertson like he was 25 again. Absolutely, and he's not. He's what, 64, 65 years old? The other channel won't see it no more. Yeah, it is what it is. Channels go away. The Phillies either have the team to win it all or they don't. No more excuses. Absolutely, and if they don't win it all, Marshawn, we are going to strip it down in the conversation as soon as the season ends. We're going to tear it up. Your wife might be cooler than you. No, I know my wife is cooler than me. 1,000% my wife's cooler than me. There is not might be here. She is the greatest thing. We just celebrated 19 years of marriage last week, so she is way cooler than me. 1,000 times cooler. Strom's diet, Con Air, Nicolas Cage. I mean, he does look a lot like Nicolas Cage. Matt Strom's a cool dude. Matt Strom's a guy I'd like to go to hang out like at a baseball game with and just chat with. Go to the bar, have a couple beers, talk baseball with. I really think that'd be cool. Onward and upward, Mitchie Poo. Nolan Smith, where are you? We need you this weekend. See, here's a weird thing. Like the Eagles, there's VCP, by the way, for the old school people. The Eagles' defensive ends, the edge rushers, have a really high pass rush win rate right now, for the most part, but they don't have the sacks. They're back to the old, leading the league in almost sacks. I'm really curious if the numbers will if they keep up their effort, will the numbers and the sacks actually get home? The lack of sacks concerns me because when you almost get the sack, then you overexpose yourself and these quarterbacks get big runs. Phil's wife has her own stream at the same time. Yeah, probably. I don't know what she does upstairs, but that's probably what she does. That's kind of funny, actually. The Guardians are now in first place. Yeah, look, I didn't even know the time. I just had pretty much given that division to the Tigers like 4 weeks ago. I just saw something the other day. Guardians are extremely dangerous now. They are. Congrats. Thank you. We have not secured the bye yet. The magic number is 1, so we need to win 1 more game out of our last 5, or the Dodgers just have to lose 1 more game out of their last 5. So those odds are definitely in our favor. Okay, we haven't secured it yet. That is true. And we still have not, I don't think, completely. Let me pull up the MLB standings here. I had the box scores up. Hold on. Don't think we're completely out of the number 1 seat. We're only technically 2.5 games behind the Brewers. So technically, and the Brewers are losing too. They've lost 3 in a row. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Technically, we can still get that 1 seat if we get out of this little funk here with Trey Turner coming back this weekend. So we have just as good of a chance of getting that 1 seat too. Sixers Media Day is Friday, Mitch. That's correct. And I'm excited for it because I just love to throw more to the conversation, more shorts I can create, more everything. All I want to do is more content. Sixers Media Day gives me that. 25 likes, guys. That's not bad for the hour mark here. Like, share, subscribe. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it, guys. 29 votes on the poll question today. Pretty good job. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing? Biggest concern is play calling, i.e. Patullo, Sirianni. I love how you put /Sirianni in there. That's definitely, I get that. After all, they have been together for years. Birds of a feather. Absolutely. Look, it's a concern of mine. It's not my biggest concern going into the Tampa game, but it's a more big picture, season-long concern that I have. Now, I'm going to give it 1 more week, maybe 2 more weeks, and then it might become my top concern. If it's still stagnant, if we don't play like the second half, we play like the first half. It will be. Right now, going into Sunday's game, my biggest concerns are, which is 21% of the votes right now in our poll, the Eagles' run defense. My second biggest concern is Lane Johnson's injury. They're my big concerns. Ringo, I think we'll be fine in the secondary. I think Patullo will do good enough. I mean, even when he was calling bad plays, we were still winning games. What's up, Chet? Who do we got on Philly Press Box Radio tonight? Tampa Bay Sports Talk radio host J.P. Peterson and comedian Joe Conklin's on tonight. Oh, man. You got to ask Conklin to do his best impersonation of me. Chet, you got to find a clip of me and have him do an impersonation of me on the show. I need that done. and I need that clip, okay? I need that done, and I need that clip. So, by the way, Press Box Radio, for those that don't know, live here on this channel tonight, 7 p.m., Philly Press Box Radio with Chet and Bill Furman. Yes, more content. I mean, what's wrong with more content, right? I once hooked up with Don Knotts. Good for you, Rose. Good for you. As long as both you and Don Knotts have subscribed to the channel, I don't care. We need to find the Sirianni playbook and hide it so it never gets used again. Here's a question for you. This is not happening. Nick Sirianni's not getting fired. For years, Nick Sirianni's bought himself 5 years of losing before he gets fired, right? Just say hypothetically that Nick Sirianni got fired and another team hired him as their OC. Would they let him call plays? Knowing how bad he was at it, he would be one of those offensive coordinators that works for an offensive play calling head coach. How do you think they will treat Dean when he is back? Because Campbell has been balling out. This is a big, big question for me. Nakobe Dean. He said he was going to miss 4 weeks. Well, he was on short-term IR, so 4 weeks. So he's eligible to come off the IR after this week's game, JT. But Jihaad Campbell has been, I think he is rated number 9 as pass coverage and pass rushing for inside linebackers. Not rookies, in all the NFL. Do you play Nakobe Dean some and move Campbell outside to help your edge rush? Do you find ways to get them all on the field at the same time? Me personally, while I want to have this problem, I don't think it'll be a problem because personally, I don't think Nakobe Dean's coming back anytime soon. That injury is just so hard to come back from, effectively, and so hard to, really get the speed and mobility back that he's going to need to perform his job on the football field. I said it would be week 10 or 12 at the earliest we'd see him. Maybe not at all this year. I want this tough decision to have to be made, but I don't know if it's going to happen. The only good thing about the Sixers this season is the return of the black jerseys. Yeah, I like the black jerseys. Penn State versus Oregon and the whiteout on Saturday. It's Penn State, Oregon this week. My sister-in-law's husband's an Oregon Duck graduate. So I will become a Penn State fan just to go against him, for sure. Bill Stiefel impersonator. Now, that's a niche profession, yeah. Well, do you not know who Joe Conklin is, K1? He's the master impersonator in Philly sports. They will slowly integrate Dean back, yeah. I don't know if he'll be back. I don't know. Another one. There we go, 674. Can we get to 675? We started 670. We got 671, 671. We got 672. We got 673 over there. Now we got 674. Can we get 675? We got 23 minutes left. Noah's mentioned it. Bonucci is a big problem on contain, especially versus the run. He has been against the run, but against the pass, he's been getting pressure. He hasn't gotten the sack numbers, but he's been getting pressure. Dean will be on special teams, which he did early in his career before he earned that starting job. So he's fine with that. And Nakobe Dean is a team player, a team leader. So if he's healthy, there will be a role for him. The problem is if he's healthy. And if he is healthy, how will they integrate him on the defense? Because he's clearly, no offense to Nakobe Dean, you're not taking Jihaad Campbell off the field to put Nakobe Dean out there. Now, maybe you take Uche off the field occasionally. Maybe you take Zadarius Smith off the field occasionally. Maybe you take Jalen Hunt off the field occasionally, and you slide Campbell outside. Because at least on the flip side, with Jihaad Campbell has shown the ability to drop into coverage. Vic Fangio likes his edges to be able to drop into coverage. He can do that as well. He can cover a tight end. Phil, you've on I'm assuming you say sub run. We've been on a sub run. Just so you guys know, Sunday, when we went live for the Eagles game at 12:50 on Sunday for 3.5 hours, okay? We were at 651 subs on Sunday morning. We're at 674 now. It's 23 in a little over 2 days. You got to love it. I think it would be good to see what Campbell could do at edge when Dean eventually comes back. Micah came in labeled as a linebacker. I don't like to label Jihaad as Micah Parsons, twin. I want him to be his own individual player. And actually, I think he could be better because Micah can't cover tight ends like Jihaad can. He can't cover running backs like Jihaad can. Dean could probably return kicks. Underrated, slid under the radar thing that I have a beef with. You guys know I've criticized from time to time Michael Clay. And I think he's an overrated defensive coordinator, okay, or special teams coordinator. Where 2 years ago, after the 23 season, people were like talking about him as a head coaching candidate eventually. And obviously, a lot's been made about the Eagles' inability to field, not return, field the kickoff because of the knuckleball kickoff, right? Now, Nick Sirianni on Monday said, well, we've got to work on, bringing somebody in to help these guys learn. We have to do a better job of teaching these guys how to field these knuckle kicks. Michael Clay on the opposite side made an excuse yesterday when he spoke. He said, replicating what the Rams kicker did in practice is very difficult. It's not easy. And he knows that other kickers are going to do it. So it's tough to replicate, but a whole lot of kickers are going to do it against us. So you're telling me, Michael Clay, that you don't know how to get Jake Elliott to replicate that in practice? To help your guys, help Tank Bigsby and Xavier Gibson and hopefully not John Mechie back there? You're telling me there's not some kicker out there that's not on the team you can't bring in for a workout to replicate that for one day in a workout situation for these guys to figure it out? The Michael Clay excuse of replicating that kick situation, BCP for the second time today, really, really annoyed me. And I don't think enough people even heard him say it, let alone are infuriated by it. And I'm infuriated by it. I don't like hearing excuses. And Michael Clay kind of threw out a little excuse there. And I don't like to see that. Melissa's channel is called Shit My Husband Says. I've always wanted K1. I've always wanted when I was with other networks. I'm on my own. I'm solo now for the most part. Maybe I can find Jason and Steven's girls to help with this. I've always wanted Melissa to have a podcast called, talking about Melissa and other, wives and girlfriends of podcasters to have a show talking about their husbands podcasting too much. I always thought that would be a gold mine. You guys dealing with me and Jason from Fairway to Heaven and Stevens, wives, girlfriends, fiancés, just making fun of us. Like, I honestly think that would be a gold content right there. Dean needs to be silent until like week 14, 15. Give him a few games to be ready for the playoffs. And what better games than 2 versus Washington and Buffalo? Yeah, I'd be shocked if Nakobe Dean plays still. Now, again, we'll know Monday. Monday or Tuesday is when he could be. I don't know if they're allowed to do it Monday or Tuesday, but they are able to activate him from IR. Will they or won't they? I don't know. I changed my opinion on Clay in the last few years. I was down on him now with special team play has been good over the last few years. I don't think special teams play has been that good. I think it's kind of hidden how coverage teams are not that great. Could be worse, but it could be better. I just hated the way he said, well, it's tough to replicate that in a practice situation. No, it's not. There's a dozen kickers in the NFL doing knuckle kicks. I'm sure Jake Elliott could do it. I'm sure there's somebody on the streets that could do it. But yet, it's tough to replicate, so they're not going to be able to practice it this week. You bring a kicker to the practice squad who just do this if you need it. I mean, we rotate practice squad guys in more than I rotate my underwear. Literally. And I change it every day, sometimes twice a day. I mean, we literally have already made 471 practice squad changes since the season started. You don't even need to put them on the practice squad. You'll bring them in for a workout. And you have your kick returners back there just fielding the kicks while he's practicing. It's not that hard. I'm sure Jake Elliott, the BKIF, Jake Elliott, the BKIF, best kicker in football, I'm sure can knuckle kick in practice if they want it. And why isn't he doing it? I guarantee the numbers of the podcasters' wives would be through the roof. I'd be at 6,000 subs right now if I put that show together. But alas, my wife would never get behind a microphone. She never would do it. She barely will sneak behind it, okay? She doesn't even want to be seen on camera. Damn straight I do. When you work in a 100-degree pizza shop in the summertime where it reaches sometimes up to 140 degrees in the kitchen, damn straight I do. I don't shower after work and put dirty underwear back on. Seriously. The shit you learn I'm sure the StreamYard will create a clip out of this conversation as well. The Breakfast Wives Clubs. I mean, it's got to be something. It's got to be something. What I need to do is do a Core 12 podcast. I get 3 or 4 of you guys, and you guys get the screen, not me. Elliott should not do it because it might hurt his normal field goal kicks. I mean, the kicker for the Rams, it doesn't hurt him. That dude was booming kicks. I know he had 2 blocked, but that dude, I don't know if you noticed when whatever his name was, the Rams kicker, lined up the kick on Sunday. It looked like it was effortless for him. He like took one step and just flick of his foot, and that ball was traveling 60 yards and straight. So it wasn't affecting him, the knuckle kick. So why would it affect Elliott? I just don't like the excuse that Michael Clay put there. And I might be overreacting to such a minute detail. But when you listen to Kevin Patullo, because of the kick return issues, Nick Patullo had an excuse. Well, we started with long fields multiple times. That field position plays a factor in how you call an offense. 3rd and 15 when you're backed up on your goal line changes things. Excuses. I don't like excuses. What's the issue to field a knuckle kick on kickoff returns when the same is done on onside kicks? Well, so I think it has to do with the fact that, on a kickoff, when it bounces, you don't know how the ball's going to bounce. And you don't know how a ball's going to bounce on an onside kick either. But you've got a whole bunch of guys lined up on a very lightly, softly kicked ball that's bouncing around. You got your hands teams out there. You got 2 guys that are the 48th and 47th player on the roster in the back there on a kickoff. The ball's coming 60 yards in the air. You just can't tell how that ball's going to bounce. And they're kicking it harder and line driving. It's just bouncing all over the place. So there's a difference between who's trying to field the onside kick. There's a difference how hard an onside kick is to a regular kick. There's a lot of little minor variables there that make it different. That's at least my opinion. That's just my uneducated opinion. But Rams kicker was waiting on that in the offseason. Was working on that in the offseason. Gotcha. Maybe. I feel like that knuckle kick wouldn't be too hard for them to learn. I mean, they practice kicking every day. I mean, you got one job, to kick the football. Figure it out. All right, you don't want, Duck doesn't want it to ruin Jake Elliott. That's fine. Brady Mann can do it. Brady Mann knows how to kick off. He was kicking off last year. It ain't going to affect his punt by practicing the knuckle kick, just to help the kick returners a little bit. There's got to be ways to figure that out. I thought the league wanted to reduce injuries on special teams. The new rules have only increased. I don't know if they wanted to. They definitely have changed the rules to create more injuries. I don't know if more injuries have happened. They changed the kickoff rules to create more dynamic kick returns. The problem is the new rules have loopholes that is making it easier for the kicker and the kick team, except for the Eagles. I believe the issue with the knuckle kick on the kickoff is the ball has to land in the landing zone, which makes it hard. Yes. So there is a landing zone. Absolutely. So you have to be able to place that kick as well. But I don't know who it was, Steven, and it wasn't somebody famous that I know of, but there was a content creator that randomly popped up on my feed. I think it was on Monday. Today's Wednesday. So, yeah, it was Monday. And it was a guy, he just did a 5-minute video with his face in the top left corner of the video showing all the different kickers knuckle kicking this past Sunday. And every team that was trying to receive it struggled like the Eagles in receiving it. Some did it line drive, some did the floater. There was all different styles. And it was a problem. Big problem. Look at that. I did get 675. Look at that. Moving on up. Let's not stall out. Let's hit those buttons. Let's go, guys. Let's keep this thing growing. If the knuckle kick is going to really affect the game, you are scared of it affecting Elliott's kicking ability, go out and get a kickoff specialist guy. You can do anything. There are plenty of ways, JT, around it. Plenty of ways, okay? The NFL will not ban the knuckle kick because it hurt the Eagles, okay? Here are some of my choices for rules that are coming next year because it's just not fair. A.J. Brown is not going to be able to run after the catch because he's too big and too strong and no cornerback can tackle him. So A.J. Brown will have to be down on contact when he catches the ball. That's one rule change that I see coming right there. All right, for sure. Another rule change is Quinion Mitchell is not going to be able to he's only going to be allowed to stay on one side of the football field. He's not going to be allowed to go side to side. I mean, Quinion Mitchell shadowed Davante Adams on 27 of 34 Adam routes on Sunday. Davante Adams had 2 catches for 12 yards in those 27 routes that Q covered him. Just so you know. Just so you know. So there's that as well. 28 likes, not bad. We are booming this channel this week. I love to see the growth. I love it. It really boosts my energy, knowing that I've been grinding my ass off for a year, and it's paying off this week. Baseball is bringing in umpires. Well, I do want to talk about the MLB and the ABS system today. Paul Brown, what's up? The NFL hates the Eagles. No back-to-back home games. Ridiculous. I mean, we only have 8 versus 9, so if we did have back-to-back home games, there would be a longer road trip. I get it, but yes, it's the NFL does hate the Eagles. When they type in all the parameters into the computer program to write the schedule, would it surprise you, Paul, if one of those parameters that goes into that computer program is let's fuck the Eagles every way possible? Like, does that work in a computer program? I don't know. Knuckle kick seemed like it had a way bigger effect than the tush push. Honestly, yes, it did. Robot umpires, yes. So the MLB has announced that I didn't write down all the rules. I just wrote down, I forgot to pull up the tab with all the rules on it, that the MLB will be instituting the ABS for the entirety of next season. And I'm extremely ecstatic that baseball is bringing the ABS system to the sport. Now, they're only giving each team 2 challenges. You get it right, you keep your challenge if you get it right. I think with 130 pitches a game, you need more than 2 chances to challenge it. It's a near instantaneous challenge. It doesn't take up that much time. But I'm extremely happy that baseball is finally bringing ABS to the sport. Time to find a rugby player for kickoffs. Yeah, put Jordan Mailata back there. They will not ban the knuckle kick because it's actually good for the game. Let the teams have to salt to it. Yeah. What I tell you, once you hit 700, you start going up like Mr. Beast. Every little stage, going from 500 to 600, took X amount of time. 600, 700 is taking less. Every level just gets a little easier as long as you keep grinding. It's called traction. That's right. We're setting the trends here for what sports talk should be. And someday, I'll have more free time and I'll do even more content than just 90 minutes a day. Just imagine that. The solution would be for their Turner needs to back up when he sees that type of rotation on the ball, create space to get a feel for the handle. Yeah, I like that. Like, don't try to get it on the second bounce. Let it bounce a couple, or you got to run up and catch it in the air. Phil going parabolic on his book. Dude, I'm doing what I do. That's what I do. I do what I do as I do. Guys, we're coming up to the final 5 minutes today. I got a big day ahead of me at work today. Lots to get done. Like, please share, please subscribe. Let's keep booming. Right now, we're at 31 votes on today's poll question. What is your biggest concern for the Eagles this week? Kelee Ringo starting, 23% of the votes. Lane Johnson's injuries had a little rebound, 16%. Kevin Patullo play calling, 42%. Eagles run defense, 19%. I voted Eagles run defense as my top concern. But that's your poll question of the day right there, guys. Since Mailata was drafted, I've wanted to see him get a handoff. JT, I've been calling for it. I've been calling for 2 JT things since he was drafted. 1, him to get a goal line handoff, 100%. Hell, run the tush push with him under center. Why not? Okay? I've wanted that so bad. I've also wanted, I forget what the drill is called. In training camp, you always do the one-on-one drills where 2 guys just run at each other. I've always wanted to see a video of Jordan Mailata going one-on-one with Jordan Davis in that drill. And when I think of that drill, I think of, Invincible movie with Vince Papali and him doing it and him, earning his rep with the team through those drills. I want to see a Jordan Mailata, Jordan Davis one-on-one. I literally think it would register on the Richter scale if those 2 guys collided. Hey, Brett, Paul, I never stop. While this channel and doing this show on this channel has only been a year growing this channel, well, we're coming up on a year. I think it was like October 1st when I decided to go solo on my own channel last year. But I've been doing this morning show for almost 4 years now. I think I missed 10 days, maybe 12, in 4 years. We do this 90 minutes every day. Battle of the Jordans. I mean, Who would not want to see Jordan Mailata and Jordan Davis just collide? Big meaty men slapping meat, right? What was that from? Why did that pop in my head? I don't even know. Yeah, Jordan will win when Jordan goes up against Jordan. Which Jordan, I don't know. I also haven't understood why they don't put someone like Dylan back there under center on the tush push. So, I mean, we just joke about putting these guys under center. There's an art to receive. You got to have the skill set to be able to take that snap to then run it, right? There's something to it. And I'm fine with Jalen Hurts doing it. Whatever. Jordan is the GOAT. Jordan is the GOAT. We could do a whole show on Jordan being the GOAT, but yeah. Pause, yes. Pause. That means you must be a Mitchie Poo fan. Accepting my dirty jokes, that's a special trait right there, for sure. What's on tap the rest of the week? Today we get our first practice of the week. We learn about Lane Johnson, whether he practices or not. It's a big deal. We learn about Adoree Jackson and Jacorian Bennett. It'll give us a little bit of an idea, more so with Kelee Ringo, whether he's starting or not. So we're going to learn a lot today going forward here. On the tush push, they should fake it and do a pitch out to Barkley. Did you see the run from the Detroit Lions game where they handed off to the one running back and then he pitched it out to the other guy for the touchdown? Where's that kind of creativity on the Eagles offense? That was a really creative play and a play that's pretty unstoppable, honestly. It was like a read option to the running back Next weekend is going to be a crazy game. One at MLDS, October 4th. Eagles-Broncos Sunday, both in Philly. What a time. Oh, both are on October 4th. Wow. Crazy. Jordan KO's Jordan, basically. Yes, I thought it was a great play. Well, I appreciate that, Paul. I appreciate it. That's the thing. When you start your own channel, that first 1,000 followers, first 1,000 subscribers is very difficult. I got like close to 6,000 followers on Twitter. But getting everybody over here to YouTube is hard. But I'm trying. I'm working my ass off for this, okay? We need a flea flicker. Not that flea flicker. What did I see that flea flicker that the guy flea flicked it like 10 feet in the air? We need it to be successful. They had a tush push fake last year where Hurts tossed it deep and just missed it. They haven't done it yet. They have plays. That's not the only time they didn't run the real tush push. They have other options there. But why use the other options when the tush push works? Right? I mean, it does work. Successful play. Anyway, what else are we talking about? We'll go over today's practice news and notes. I'm sure there's going to be actually some roster changes today with the Eagles because obviously with the injuries, with Marcus Epps, you're going to see some roster changes with the Eagles. So we'll see, what we have on tap discussion-wise tomorrow. Be curious to see who signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson today as well. We'll also talk Phillies. Can they break their losing streak? Can they get shit back on track before the playoffs? We are only 5 regular season games left. The final 5 for the Phillies start tonight. They're sitting at 92 wins. Let's hope. Let's go. We need a dance-off between the Jordans. Jordan Davis, man, got some dance moves. That's for sure. And we know Jordan Mailata has the voice of an angel. Does he have a dance moves as well? Another great show. It's all about the subscriber numbers going up is amazing. The likes being there is amazing. Great shows is the key. All the other stuff will happen, Adam, as long as I keep coming on here and pumping out great shows week in and week out, right? Day in and day out. The rest will come. If you build it, they will come. And what's the tagline of Trending in the AM and the STT Sports Network? Setting the trends for what sports talk should be in Philadelphia. Plain and simple. And that's what I'm doing every day. And I'm even trying to help other people. Mitchie Poo, I'll hit you up after the show. And Rick, working with Rick too a little bit. Trying to help everybody out. But anyway, it's time to wrap this up. Got to get to work. The shorts do really help. The fact that StreamYard's getting better at creating better shorts, they still have to get a little bit better, and they're working on the programming of the shorts creation to make it better. It bounces around the screen sometimes a little too much, and they got to make it a bit easier to edit it, but we're working on that. The shorts do help. I think I put out 12 or 13 shorts yesterday, so the shorts help for sure. Time to wrap this baby up. It's 9:30, guys. Everybody, Hopefully someone told you to do that. No. Anyway, everybody have a great day. 31, you line up the tush push. You got the entire defense trying to stop it. You know it's automatic. Yeah, why not? Why not, JT? Everybody have a great day. I got to wrap this baby up. Have a great day. Go Birds. Bubbles up.